neither rain nor wind nor gloom of night can keep folks away today. Louisville, a surprise team in the ACC, taking on a team everybody expected to have a little bit of success, the Virginia Cavaliers. Hi, everybody. Chris Cotter alongside Mark Hertzlick. Kelsey Riggs is going to join us in a little bit. She's trying to stay dry on the field. We're undercover here, so we're all right for the game. Let's talk a little about Virginia. They were expected preseason to win the Coastal. They've done everything they could to get there. Had a little bit of a hiccup against Miami a couple weeks ago, but last week they righted the ship.
Yeah, with that win versus Duke, it put them in the driver's seat of this Coastal Division. And now with Pitt losing earlier today, they're in a one-game lead. Really big drive for them this season. Not only today, but then next week at UNC. They need to finish their season strong, and they're in the right direction to do that.
Number of first-year coaches in the ACC, Scott Satterfield here at Louisville, one of them. They already doubled their win total from last year, so I would guess you would have to say to this point in time in the season it's been a real success.
Yeah, it has been, and he adopted a team that had only 2 wins last year, and when he came in, he was very candid when he talked to us. He didn't expect them to win very many games at all, but the buy-in from his team to his new type of culture and new type of coaching, he wanted to create a family atmosphere, whereas it was a dictatorship before. His players really bought in.
For more on the Scott Satterfield success early on, let's go down to the field and Kelsey Riggs.
Yeah, you guys touched on it just a little bit there. There was a lot more for Scott Satterfield to fix when he got to Louisville than just football. He had to fix this whole program and the culture, and he came in with 6 core values to try to do that. The first one is 2. It's trust and respect. And he says in order to get trust, you have to be consistent, and consistency is something that takes time. And in just his short time here, he is able to develop trust from these players and able to have success on the football field as well, you guys.
Kelsey, my favorite on that one is the last one. Have fun. Might not be a whole lot of fun going against this Virginia defense, though, today.
No, they're a great defense. They're ranked 8th in the country and 4th in the nation in sacks per game. Watch them bring pressure off the top of the screen. They're going to play a man-to-man coverage from top down at the defensive back position and just drop a guy in the middle. Quentin Ayers wants to get the ball out fast, but has to pump because of that tight coverage. They forced that sack, forced fumble. Now Louisville have some absolute studs on the outside at wide receiver. Look at Des Fitzpatrick here. The ball is thrown up to him, and watch him able to adjust in the air versus Clemson, come down with a big catch. They're going to need a lot from these playmaking wide receivers to have chance versus Virginia today.
There's a look at Bronco Mendenhall, Virginia head coach in his 4th season. Every year, more and more wins in that column, and this year hoping to take his Cavaliers to an ACC Championship game. Toe meets leather, and we're underway here in Louisville. Keon Wakefield at the goal line. Dances his way trying to get out to the 20, won't quite get there, and Louisville will start at their own 19. Ever since Lamar Jackson departed for the NFL, Louisville's been trying to find who that next quarterback is going to be, and right now they haven't quite figured out which one it's going to be, but it's going to be one of these 2 guys today.
No, they haven't. They started the year with Jawan Pass, who then got injured for the season, but now it's between Mikael Cunningham and Evan Conley. Mikael Cunningham is more of a pure runner. He can throw the ball, and you see that 62% completion percentage, which is up from last year, but he is the guy who can run the ball well. When Conley goes in the game, he is more of a bruising runner, but he can throw the ball, so they're going to switch off between the 2.
Cunningham keeping it here, gets to the edge and picks up a nice gain of 7 on 1st down.
Yeah, and you saw his running ability there, which we just alluded to, but that was a designed quarterback run, just a quarterback sweep to the outside with the running back lead blocking, and his speed to get to the edge. That's something that Evan Conley does not possess.
We just saw Conley flashing in the signals on the sideline. 2nd down and 3 for Louisville. Handoff, Hawkins. Picks up a couple to bring up 3rd down and short. Hawkins is a good story too. Freshman running back, diminutive if you will, 5'9", 182 pounds, already with 751 yards on the season.
Yeah, no, he's a great player, good runner, and his ability to run the ball east and west and then cut back, that's what makes him so special. He can make men miss in the hole, and you said he's short, but coach said he's built like just a giant muscle. He's dense, and he can take a hit.
He's going to the one here, gets through, almost broke that one. Boy, Joey Blunt prevented a touchdown. If Blunt doesn't catch him by the shoestrings, he's gone.
And Hawkins just squeaks through this hole. Watch right between 83, the tight end, and the defensive back. He finds that, and when you teach this zone running scheme, you want to tell your running back, find the back hip of your blocker and just squeeze right off of there. Found that good lane. Joey Blount with really a touchdown-saving tackle early in the game.
3rd and 6, Cunningham. Throw, complete. And that's going to be a first down. He hit Atwell again. Chris Moore on the stop for Virginia, but Cardinals moving it now into Cavalier territory.
And so we were wondering how well Mikael Cunningham was going to come back this game. He was only 4 for 11 last week versus Clemson, and obviously an outstanding defense. Virginia's got a great defense in their own right, and you know he's driving his team down the field on this first drive.
Cunningham keeps a lot of room to run here. Lowers his shoulder out of bounds. Pickup of 9.
And he caught Charles Snowden looking on that one. Charles Snowden, the outside linebacker, has the quarterback responsibility. He just gets faked out at the last minute. His eyes were poor, but good job by Cunningham riding the ball in, pulling it last minute, and you see that speed.
And Hawkins, plenty of room to run. Another pickup of 8 yards. They're gashing him here, 8 and 9 yards a pop.
I want you to watch this left tackle. Big number 73, Mekhi Becton. Watch him just drive people off the ball. You're going to see a lot of these run plays go to the left side of the line of scrimmage. When you have a 6'7", 270-pound offensive tackle, you want to run right behind him.
Cunningham with the play fake. Going to the end zone. Overshoots his receiver. Got kind of hung up there was Atwell.
Yeah, it looked like a miscommunication between wide receiver and quarterback because it was such a big disparity in where they were. But really, it was Brenton Nelson, the safety. He just got really good contact on the wide receiver to disturb the route downfield. That's one thing that college football has different than the NFL. You can contact the wide receiver as long as the ball is not in the air yet. Now, kind of interesting formation here.
Hand off to Hawkins. Just crashes into the line. Give him maybe 3. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, this formation is kind of an old school formation where you're going to get 2 fullbacks in the game and then the halfback right behind him. And this is going to cause a bunch of different holes for the defense to fill. You're not exactly sure where those fullbacks are going to place in the line of scrimmage, but you have to add over. Good job by Virginia on that one.
3rd and 7. Cardinals look to keep this drive alive. Cunningham, pressure comes. He's going to keeps his feet. Now he's going to go down. It's not easy to bring down. Eli Handback and company were there to eventually take Cunningham to the turf, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Right in the middle of your screen. Watch right there. Watch him get around, get some push, drive right on the center, walk him straight back, and just bullies his way into the backfield. And he gets only a half a sack. He doesn't bring him down, but Charles Snowden jumped on top. Really good by him.
No man's land here. Do you punt? Do you go for a field goal with all this wind? Well, Scott Satterfield is keeping his offense out on the field here early. On 4th and 14. Cunningham in trouble. He'll get dropped. 2nd consecutive sack for this Virginia defense, and they'll take over on downs.
Wow, well, that's really interesting. Really interesting play call there to go for on 4th down, but Virginia gets there for another sack. They get the ball and come back.
Louisville takes their first possession of the game. Has a nice little drive going. They go for it on 4th and 14. Don't get it. Now an opportunity to see Bryce Perkins in this Virginia offense. Perkins looking to pass. Out here in the flat, has a receiver open. That's Joe Reed. We're talking about him a lot today. Gain of about 8 yards on 1st down.
Bryce Perkins means so much to this Virginia offense. Last week against Duke, he accounted for almost 80%, 75% of the total yards in that game. And pretty much what he's been doing all season, but his ability to throw the ball and run the ball and pick up tough yards sets him apart is something just so valuable to this offense. Look for a lot more quarterback runs from him this week. When we talked to head coach Bronco Mendenhall, he said because backup quarterback Brennan Armstrong had been hurt for many games leading up until last week, they didn't want to run Bryce Perkins very much, but now that he's healthy, they feel like, okay, if for some reason he does get dinged up, at least we have our number 2 quarterback to fill in.
Wayne Talapapa ran on second down and was able to pick up the first down. Now Virginia in Cardinal territory. Perkins tried to get it to his tight end, Tanner Cowley, over the top, just overthrown.
So I'm really excited to see Tanner Cowley and what he's able to do today. I think if there's one weak point that's still lingering of this Louisville defense, it would be their linebacker core. They have had some improvement at the D-line and at that second level, but the linebacking core just is not quite there yet. And so that's an opportunity for big Tanner Cowley, the tight end, to get some good plays in his direction today.
This direction here isn't going to work. Tavares Kelly was dropped right at the line of scrimmage by a whole host of Cardinals, Gigi Robinson among them.
Watch this spin out by Bryce Perkins, kind of whoop, whoop, whoop. There you go. Well, that one didn't fool anybody. It almost looked like Bryce Perkins was confused himself. But now we have the first third down opportunity for this Louisville defense. And the crowd is on their feet getting loud.
Talapapa with Perkins in the backfield.
Showing blitz, top of your screen.
Perkins can't handle the snap. Now he gets it back, has a receiver downfield. It's Assis Dubois, he makes the catch. What a play. All kinds of confusion at the line of scrimmage, and Perkins didn't look like he wasn't expecting the snap. Was able to corral it, and Dubois was wide open.
Yeah, it looks like he was about to check when he saw the pressure, but the ball was snapped anyways, and the safety that rolled over top, Kane Pass, was not able to stay with Dubois. You know, maybe he had some eyes on the quarterback, but great awareness by Perkins to know where the pressure was coming. When he corralled the ball, was able to get it off, find his receiver downfield.
Virginia converts on 3rd and 10. Now they have 1st and goal. Perkins is going to keep it. He's got blockers in front of him. Spins his way down to the 6 before Monte Caban brings him down.
We saw Louisville put some different fullbacks in the backfield with some odd formations to gain some extra blockers. Well, another way to gain an extra blocker is just to run the ball with your quarterback. Use your tailback as that lead blocker and pull some big offensive linemen to get in front. You're going to see that a lot. That's what we're talking about when we talk about these design runs for a quarterback. There's no pass option involved.
Give it to Talapapa. Squirts his way into the end zone for the score.
6 yards for the score.
Good job by this offensive line. Right in the middle. Actually let a guy go right inside. 94 for Louisville gets right there. Just misses the tackle, and then Wayne Talapapa just drives his legs, forces his way into the end zone. And after what looked like could have been a fumbled snap by Bryce Perkins, turns out to be a huge play, and a few plays later in the end zone for a touchdown.
Brian Delaney with the PAT, and Virginia up early here on the road, 7-0. They've had some red zone struggles, not lately though. And Talapapa, his 3rd touchdown in the last 2 games. Cavaliers up top.
Virginia just scored on their opening drive. It's 7-0. Scott Satterfield going to try and get his guys to answer right back. He's been in a position like this before and gotten the guys to buy in. To even when they're down, they have to buy in on making things better. And part of that is a culture. The offensive line is a big part of that. I got to spend some time with them on Thursday night. Every Thursday night, they go to their offensive coordinator's house, Coach Letford, and have dinner. It's not about football. It's just about family. There's wings and pizza. Let me be specific. 15 pizzas, 200 wings. If you think about offensive linemen, they like to eat a lot. I went over there, had dinner with them, and it was really cool just to see the kind of culture that Scott Satterfield and his coaches have created here. Their wives are involved. There's cookies before the cookies are even on the table. They're already gone, and she's upstairs baking a lot of them. They play darts. I got to spend some time with Tyler Haycraft as well. He says he is the darts champion. He may or may not have gotten beat while I was there, but definitely a cool experience to kind of see how these guys are buying into the culture that he's trying to create here at Louisville.
Yeah, it certainly has been a night and day difference for this team.
The players were eating, the coaches weren't, so I didn't feel like I could be the only one over there eating all the pizza and wings. And then there were leftovers at the end. They said I could have them. I'm like, how am I going to take pizza and wings home from hungry college kids, offensive linemen at that? So I got Zaxby's on the way home.
Oh, that's awesome. She didn't want to eat all the pizzas. That's the reason why she didn't do it. That's good.
Penalty against the Cardinals. Moving back 5 yards, so moving back a couple more. Hawkins with nowhere to go, hand back among a number of Cavaliers there to make the stop.
And with all the changes he wants to make off the field, on the field, this is a different looking Louisville team. And when we talk about the Scott Satterfield offense, it is rush first. Look at the rushing improvement right there in that graphic. Last year to this year, just a massive dedication to running the ball. And that right there is another way you can run it.
One man to beat. He'll beat him. 77 yards for the score.
Becomes a lot easier to have an explosive offense when you have guys like number 1 carrying it. And right there, that won't go down in the record book as a run, but because the ball was tossed forward, that's technically a pass. However, has that same effect in Tutu Atwell using his speed, coming all the way across this field from the slot position and outrunning the entire Virginia defense for the score.
Creaky on for the PAT. He's perfect. Louisville storms right back to even this one. Tutu Atwell, his 7th touchdown reception of the year. Crowd loving it.
Can you feel that?
All knotted up at 7 apiece here in Louisville. Tutu Atwell with something that this Cardinal team has gotten used to so far this year. That's explosive plays. And a lot of them are long passes. A lot of them are passes and runs after the catch. You see Lamar Jackson, by the way, here in the background. I'm sure he liked that play. Atwell's speed carried it into the end zone, 77 yards.
Yeah,
and now Joe Reed standing by his own end zone.
77-yard play. That's the longest play that Virginia's given up all year. They're not used to giving up those big chunk plays. Atwell is. He has 8 catches of 20 yards or more. Now make that 9.
Chris Sharp gets it to Reed. And he's got a good return brewing. Telepapa. A lot of room to run inside. Picks up maybe 3. Nick Okeke there to make the stop. Saw Joe Reed on the kick return. Both these coaches said we want to kick it away from these stars that are 2 of the best kick returners in the country. Well, they still found a way to get the ball into Reed's hands. Now Reed out of the backfield. Perkins looks his way, now looks him off. Downfield, just overshoots his man. That was Tavares Kelly. He's only 5'8". He ain't going to be able to get up there and get it. We got a flag down, and Perkins is down too.
Flag down right around that area. Could indicate a roughing. Let's see at the end of this play.
Offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Just got rolled up on.
Yeah, that's not good. That sometimes, I mean, I'm not going to speculate, but that looks like it could have been a knee injury.
Well, as the Virginia staff takes a look at Perkins, we'll update you on his status when we come back. Brennan Armstrong coming in. He's been shaken up a little bit. This young left-handed quarterback out of Shelby, Ohio. Could be his team now, at least for the remainder of this game.
Yeah, and he's new, he's young. You know, we mentioned the number situation. He's a redshirt freshman, and he has a quarterback number, so you know, he obviously has some respect from his teammates. He's got a little bit of game action so far this year. He's 9 for 10 for 103 yards, has thrown a pick, but let's see what he can do now. The ball goes on the ground.
Talapapa tries the inside of that Cardinal defense. Give him 3 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and long for Brennan Armstrong. What a trial by fire for this young man now here on the road.
Yep, now we're going to see what the call is for this freshman quarterback. The ball is going to be in his hands, 3rd and long. He needs to make a play through the air. Look for a pass that's not too risky. They want to probably max protect, get the ball down the field, throw it away if you have nothing. Just don't force a turnover.
Atkins in motion. Underneath. Can't hook up with Dubois.
Yeah, they tried to motion 4 to one side and just throw it to what they thought would be man-to-man on the backside, but ended up being double coverage. No turnover, get to punt the ball away and get their defense on the field. Their defense is still the strength. Anytime you lose a quarterback, it's devastating, but when your defense is the strength of your team, you still have a chance.
Nass Griffin, his first punt of the afternoon for Virginia. Rajay Burns standing deep for the Cards. Their catch made by Rajay Burns after a 45-yard kick. Cardinals back on the field offensively. Cunningham gets a block himself. Cuts it near side into Cavalier territory, 30, 25, out of bounds at about the 22. Charles Snowden finally tracking him down, but another big pickup for Louisville.
So I want you to keep an eye right here on running back number 10, Javion Hawkins. Watch he's getting out here, throws a big block right there on the safety to spring his quarterback loose. And when you have speed like Mikael Cunningham has, there's no block, there's no defenders in front of you. You can outrun them to the sideline.
Hawkins eludes 1 tackle. It's a 2nd tackle. Snowden couldn't quite wrap him up. And he made a little something out of nothing, 6 yards.
You see right there on his arm, there's a little PlayStation controller. His nickname's PlayStation because he makes moves like that. He plays football like it's a video game. He's making guys miss. He did a great job there. There you go. There's a good shot of that PlayStation controller. Just absolutely difficult to tackle in the hole.
We get it on the stretch. This time it'll be brought down to the backfield. Zane Zandier, lightning quick.
Yeah, really good job. Zandier played backside of that blocker and used his speed to just track down the ball carrier. Sometimes when you run the ball into the boundary like that, you don't have the ability to use your speed to get to the edge. Zandier does a great job of tracking that one down.
That'll be the final play of the first quarter. Entertaining quarter, back and forth action. Louisville threatening again when we come back to start the second. We're all knotted up at 7 apiece in this key ACC matchup. All knotted up at 7 apiece here in Louisville as we head to the second quarter. Bryce Perkins, that's good news. Came out of the game just on the last Virginia drive with a knee injury. Smile on his face, has his helmet in his hands as the Cardinals face a 3rd down here. Cunningham underneath. Beautiful play to knock it away by Nick Grant.
Yeah, good break on the ball. Louisville ran a bunch of crossing routes. Nick Grant just sat and let everything sort itself out. You'll see him come in from the left side of your screen and just followed in behind wide receiver Des Fitzpatrick. Cale Cunningham needs to get that ball out a little bit faster, but Nick Grant, great job of using patience and getting the ball out. Big stop in the red zone for UVA defense.
Left-footed Blanton Creaky from 28 or 38 yards out. And he misses it. Very accurate kicker, 8 of 10 on the year, and Creaky just pushes it a little bit wide left. So the Cardinals get nothing out of that drive, and we remain all knotted up. Kelsey Riggs has some more information on Bryce Perkins. What do you got, Kels?
Well, guys, when he came off the field, everybody relieved to see him walking off on his own. He went straight to the athletic trainer's table. Looked like they were checking out his knee, did that for a little while. Then he got up off the table, walked gingerly up and down the sideline, then actually got in a few quick jogs, few sprints. And as you guys mentioned, back on the sidelines with his helmet in his hand, and now looks like he's going to be back at quarterback taking snaps. So good news for Virginia and Bryce Perkins.
Helmet on his head now is Virginia getting the football in good field position. Now they're in Cardinal territory. Yeah, Eric, I think that's a big part of it, is the fact that the facilities are here in place. The history that you're a part of here with Louisville is in place. So it's just a matter of getting the right coach. And I think they have it in Satterfield to be able to build this program up. But I don't think it'll take that long. I mean, he already has 4 wins on this year, kind of trying to position himself for a bowl win in year 1. And he doesn't have his own players in place yet.
Yeah, and he's a guy that he wants to reshape that offensive line. And I know that that's key in your mind. Talk about Mekhi Becton. Have you been able to watch any of his film and how he might translate to next level as a pro?
Yeah, Mekhi Becton was with the team when I was still working out with the team when I was playing in the NFL still. And I've been impressed with him since the day he walked onto this campus. And he's just so big and athletic that gets him by, but he also has this tenacity about him, and he's athletic, and he's going to be a heck of a ball player on Sundays.
Virginia picking up a first down. So a new set of downs for the Cavaliers. Bryce Perkins in that quarterback spot. Good to see him back in there. He was shaken up earlier in the game. Got off on his own power, but it looked like he had a knee injury. Seems to be fine now. Handoff. Talapapa with a nice run on first down. They'll move the chains again.
Talapapa did a great job of, again, finding his blocker and just scooting right off his backside. Too much space between the cornerback and the end of the line of scrimmage allowed him to pick up those yards. But you see where Virginia is already. They're encroaching in on this 30-yard line, and that's because of that monstrous punt. They really flipped field position, and when you're playing in a field position game, a defense-first game, that is huge for your team.
Callie, the tight end, inside the 20, down to the 18. Kane pass brought him down, but not before 13 yards. Virginia with a nice drive going here.
Well, that's reminiscent of the old triple option, where you have the inside handoff as a possibility. The quarterback can run, and then you leak your tight end out in the flat, which was the old pitch play, but now it's just swinging out to your tight end. All the receivers just went down and blocked on that play. Really good play design by Bronco Mendenhall and Robert Nahi.
Talapapa, a lot of room to run. He'll score. Second touchdown of the day, 19 yards this time.
Well, we're in the red zone, and Virginia is dedicated to the run. But look at what Louisville has. They have 3 defenders standing outside of the tight end, and then 2 guys stacked right here. There's nobody in these gaps in the middle. And watch as the running lane just opens wide up. There's still 3 guys outside the widest man. I don't know what defense that was, but it was not sound, and they better not go back to it.
It was not effective in stopping Virginia and Talapapa. Cavaliers take the lead. I want to thank Eric Wood and congratulate him on his induction into the Cardinal Hall of Fame. Virginia on top here, second quarter. Virginia back on top here in Louisville, 14-7 over the Cardinals. Wahoo's the preseason favorite to win the Coastal, although as we see every season, The Coastal is never guaranteed, and certainly when Virginia beat Pitt, you thought, okay, all is right. But then North Carolina, Mac Brown said, hey, I'm a pretty good team myself. Got the upset win. Duke thrashed Virginia Tech, so Duke looked pretty good. North Carolina went down, but just as Duke starts to look good, well, they fall to Pitt. Virginia Tech bounces back. Then Miami beat this Virginia team down in Coral Gables. You thought, yeah, Miami now is for real. No, because Georgia Tech beat them. Then Virginia bounced back last week against Duke. So it just seems like everybody wants to beat everybody else. The good news for Virginia is they took that punch against Miami, withstood it, beat Duke last week, now back on top here, and they're atop that division right now. Louisville continues to go with this two-quarterback system. They've done it all year, and they do it here today. Cunningham and Conley so far. Conley back in the game here on this drive for Louisville.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know if there's something wrong with Cunningham, but Evan Conley has been in for the past 3 series, and he's gotten absolutely nothing going on offense. It seems like they were moving the ball really well with Cunningham.
Flag down as Hawkins goes nowhere on first down.
Illegal block below the waist. Offense, number 83. The penalty is declined. Second down.
Could there be a little bit of conservativeness in terms of the play calling from this Louisville coaching staff, trying to prevent him from getting into trouble deep in his own territory?
Yeah, there could be. I think the thing that bothers me about the decision is you're taking out a really explosive run threat in Cunningham. And he already proved today that he can run the ball. And so now they're not even respecting Conley running the ball and teeing off on Javian Hawkins when he runs up the middle.
Pitch outside, gets away from that. Well, and he falls on it at the 2-yard line.
I mean,
well,
just
the timing clearly wasn't there on that play.
No, and you know, Evan Conley has shown flashes in the past of being really good, but right here, you know, this is on him. You pull it off, it's the right read, but you just got to get the ball to your receiver, who Tutu Atwell, coming around to the boundary, and now you're backed up on your own 2-yard line, 3rd and 20.
Yeah, this is not ideal.
Not ideal at all, and you just got to prevent punting from the 1-yard line.
Hawkins is met at the goal line and bounces his way out of the end zone. Virginia very aggressive defensively, and the crowd not liking the play calling, but I'm not sure what else you could do at that point. I don't know, how aggressive could you possibly be on 3rd and 18 from your own 2?
No, I mean, it becomes the right play call, but the reason why UVA is able to do this is they're just shooting gaps. I mean, they don't have respect for Evan Conley to be able to throw the ball or run the ball right now. So they're just teeing off on Javian Hawkins and telling their defensive linemen to get vertical, and right there, Manny Alonso did that almost with TFL for a safety.
Mason King has to watch his heels that he doesn't step out of the back of the end zone here. Punt this one. Not a whole lot of room. He gets off a good punt. Kemp is going to catch that as 45 and look for room. Up the middle. Flag down as Kemp finally is brought down. But Virginia will have outstanding field position as they start this drive once again. Perkins over the middle. Sees Dubois. That was a tight window. Picks up a first down right at midfield. Talapapa. Near side to Jana, the Canadian. He's brought down, but not before a first down. 13 yards on the pickup.
Fumbled the ball forwards out of bounds.
The ruling on the field was a completed pass, fumbled forward out of bounds. It will be returned to the spot of the fumble. Results in a first down. The line of game was made.
Yeah, they initially
Johnson was there defending on the play.
They initially placed the ball where it went out of bounds, and obviously they'll move it back because you can't fumble the ball forward out of bounds.
The call is a second down and inches now for Virginia. Talapapa can't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a little bit. Jamarius Peterson was there.
See a lot of motion and a lot of guys going in a bunch of different places for the UVA offense, but it ends up just being the same guys, a different guy in the same spot. So the defense doesn't have to change their gaps. But now on this 3rd and 1.5 after that little bit of loss on that play. This is a big test for the front 7 of Louisville. Can they shut down this Bryce Perkins, Wayne Talapapa option?
Perkins looks to throw. That's Reed. He'll get the first down.
Well, they didn't even have to worry about the run there because Virginia saw everybody condensed inside, and just throw it out there to your speedy wide receiver. Just need a couple yards to get the first down. It's a good job of reading the box as a quarterback, checking to the pass play, and getting the ball out to your receiver.
Lining up in the slot at the top of your screen. Atkins now in motion. Perkins, complete. Dubois back in the game. That's good news for Virginia. Makes the catch. Chandler Jones all over his back.
Yeah, good catch. And watch the release by Bryce Perkins. We talked to the opposing team coaches, and they say, yo, he can throw from any body position. That's not exactly how you want to teach a throwing motion, but he whips it in there with accuracy to Dubois. Enough for another first down.
Clock inside of 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
Reigns picked back up. You see it down on the field.
Perkins makes one man miss, spins it. Almost out of another tackle. Still on his feet, though. He'll get it inside the 20.
Yeah, well, if there's any question about his knee health from earlier in the game with those few errant scrambles and passes, that right there was a pretty good indicator that his knee is feeling okay. Cutting, juking, spinning, and driving his legs for a pickup on the play.
That's his first rushing attempt. Rather than trying to evade the rush, since he hurt that knee. So you're right, that's a good sign. 2nd down and 6. Intercepted. Picked off by Chandler Jones.
Great job catching it by Chandler Jones, but an errant pass by Bryce Perkins. Let's see if this wet weather, the ball comes out of his hands just inaccurately and overthrows his wide receiver, Terrell Jana, who was on a stop route. But you see that ball wobbling. The wetness all week, they've practiced what they call wet ball drills, throwing and catching and snapping with wet footballs. That right there led to a big turnover.
Well, he's just content to let this clock run down here and get to the locker room down 7. Conley looking to throw. He'll be sacked. Zandier is there to bring him down. 3rd sack of the day for Virginia. And that'll take us to the horn here, ending the first half.
Good play by Zandier. He was covering the running back man-to-man. Running back blocks, add blitz, get yourself a sack right before halftime.
Both these teams make their way to the locker rooms just as the skies open up here in Louisville.
When the wind's blowing into our booth even.
Coming in.
Well, it's been a real interesting first half. Looked like Louisville had a lot going on offense early with Mikhail Cunningham at quarterback. And then they switched it up. Evan Conley and just absolutely nothing after that.
Virginia owned the field position too. Louisville was operating out of the shadow of their own goalpost for almost the entire second quarter. Kelsey's standing by right now with Bronco Mendenhall.
Coach, Bryce Perkins is such a big part of your offense. When he went down, obviously able to come back, but what was going through your head in that moment?
Just having to move on and going to our backup, Brennan Armstrong, and luckily he came back to full health this week, so it would have been the best scenario possible of a bad scenario.
Your offense was consistent throughout the first half, but a turnover right there at the end. Now the rain's starting to come down. What do you need to do in the second half to keep the momentum going in your right direction and take care of the football?
Yeah, scores are too hard to come by. Once we're down here, we need to make sure we come away with points.
Coach, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Totally jinxed Kelsey by saying the rain had stopped. She's going to be so cheesed off at me. This Virginia defense coming in ranked 8th in the country in total defense, 4th in sacks, doing what they do best, up 7 at the break. We'll send it from the studio. 14-7 our score here as we get set for the second half kick. As you can see, the weather has taken a turn for the worse. Flags are taut there at the top of Cardinal Stadium here at the Ville. Chris Cotter, Mark Hertzlick. The game in the first half in terms of the way it was played, kind of like the weather, not necessarily a thing of beauty. Bryce Perkins got injured, came back, played fairly well, but the two-quarterback system not really working out so well for the Cardinals.
Yeah, no, it's been a sloppy game offensively for both teams, and you saw early Mikael Cunningham had some big plays on the ground. He's the Cardinals' leading rusher, but was taken out in the beginning of the second quarter, and Evan Conley came in and has had no success moving the ball at all. Now there was a gigantic 78-yard punt by Virginia.
Yeah, Nash Griffin might be the player of the game so far.
So far he is, and special teams is going to play a huge role in this game. We thought it might have been from the returnman, but you can also have the weapons at that punter position.
Just punches it. Reed's going to pick it up. It's not going to be Reed. It's going to be Kelly. He gets outside, 40-yard line, and makes a good return out of it. That return was just like the entire first half of play here at Cardinal Stadium.
It was messed up. So when you're on the receiving side of this, like, it's a surprise little kick, and they just come out of the huddle and just go. I mean, it's like, you know, they have no coverage lanes. They're just right in the middle. And when you're a return team, it just blocks somebody. And you saw it there. The ball was able to loop around the outside. It's interesting. You try to overthink things. I think that was what that was. They overthought that kick and then didn't have good coverage lanes. The ball returned out to the 40-yard line.
Good field position for Perkins and Virginia to start the second half. It's all Papa. No, Perkins has it. Fooled everybody, including me, and he's going to get a big gain out of it.
Yep.
22 yards for Perkins. He's so smooth sometimes.
Wasn't that like a pretty nice little sleight of hand? I mean, it was almost like he waited a tick when he faked that handoff to Talapapa and pulled it. But it was interesting, on that run, I didn't see that speed burst that you usually see from Perkins. It was more of that smooth gallop. You wonder if that knee's affecting him.
Now Talapapa has it. Spins forward for a couple of yards. It'll bring up second down and 8. Virginia quickly moving into Louisville territory here to start the second half.
Virginia and Bryce Perkins, they do have an explosive offense in terms of being able to pass the ball, but their bread and butter is running it. Whether it's with the running back or with the quarterback, they want to use the run to set up the pass. Look for this shot downfield. Could be coming right here.
Papa evades the initial tackler, but can't really get much after that. Another 2-yard gain. Yasir Abdullah was there to bring him down.
And that's going to the well one too many times. Louisville has to concentrate on, okay, we need to stop the run. Let's force them to throw the ball, especially with this wind whipping. Now you have 3rd and long, and those flags are still flying back and forth. It's going to be difficult throwing into a headwind for Bryce Perkins to get the ball downfield. Look for a quick pass out up to the side, possibly to Joe Reed, who's lined up in the slot right here. See if they go off on 3rd down.
Cardinals bring 4. Reed has it out in the flat. Can't elude the tackler, though. That's Chandler Jones, who had a big pick in the first half. Now making a stop here on 3rd down.
Good job by Chandler Jones playing top down on that route. He knows that if he forces them to complete the pass in front of him, they're not going to pick up the 1st down. And now this is, you know, kind of a questionable range. It's a little too far out for a field goal unless they feel like they have the wind at their back. Let's see what they...
Look like they're bringing out Nash Griffin to punt it. This is going to have to be the exact opposite of that 78-yard punt he had in the first half. We'll take a 28-yard punt here. High end over end. Cavaliers are down there. They're down it inside the 5. Takes a bounce. The Cardinals, but they'll still get it The Cardinals will around the 10-yard line, which is, again, where they were almost for the entire second quarter. They're right back in the shadow of their own goalpost. Let's see what the Cardinals can do, trailing by 7 when we come back.
14-7 Virginia right now. Louisville going to get the ball for the first time in the second half. And Mikhail Cunningham back at quarterback. I got a chance to talk to Scott Satterfield as he came out for the half, and I asked him if there was anything going on with Cunningham in the first half when Evan Conley seemed to have trouble getting the offense going. He said no, that Mikhail started the game, played most of the first quarter, and that Evan Conley, they were just going to stick with him through the second quarter. He did say we will see both quarterbacks again here in the second half. The other thing that he brought up is something that you guys have been talking about just a little bit, and that's the weather. Expecting some weather here in just a little while. He said it depends on how they'll handle it, depending on field position and the wind. Right now, on this drive, Louisville going against the wind, guys, so we'll see how things pan out.
All right, thanks, Kels. Devontae Cross with a nice play defending on Des Fitzpatrick on first down. Bringing up second down and 10. Atwell trying to make a man miss and cannot. Noah Taylor just stayed home and dropped him for a loss.
Great discipline by Noah Taylor. Just a great job of staying outside. Watch him right here. He sees the motion coming across and just stays outside. He has to keep everybody inside as contained man. Really good job of leveraging that from outside in. Noah Taylor's a guy who's a real difference maker, a playmaker at getting to the quarterback, but his discipline allows him to make plays like that.
Another 3rd and long, deep in their own territory. It's a broken record for the Cardinals. Cunningham's going to try and get it on his own, and he will, and a lot more. Out to the 25 before Jordan Mack is there to bring him down, and that's a first down and an element that we didn't see in the second quarter.
I mean, you can't see that when he's not in the game. You need to have him in the game. I mean, his ability right here, he sees the pressure, he sees where the guys drop out from, and just follows them. I mean, that is the difference maker of your team. If you want to just have a rotation at quarterback and take him off the field, you're not doing the best for your team.
Hawkins sideswipes the first tackler, maybe picks up 4. Chris Army knife. Chris Moore was there for the stop. Hawkins, diminutive, yet he's the type of guy who can carry. He carried the ball 26 times last week against Clemson. That's against Clemson's defense.
Yeah, 130 rushing yards for him as well against Clemson. He's a guy who is a physical runner, even though he is so small.
Cunningham now rolls out, uses to carry it himself. Avoids Zandier and picks up 3.
Number 11, Charles Stone on the tackle for the Cavaliers.
See Zandier coming on that secondary contain. We taught as a linebacker sometimes in zone coverage that if the quarterback breaks the primary contain of the defensive end, you have to leave your zone position. Good job by Zandier forcing the quarterback to get out of bounds.
Pressure coming from Virginia. Cunningham got rid of it.
Ooh, and that looks like
overthrows Dawkins. We've got flags on the field.
And that could be a targeting call by Jordan Mack. Be a big loss for Virginia.
Personal foul, roughing the passer with targeting. Defense, number 4. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Jordan Mack walking off the field, the senior linebacker for Virginia, disqualified because of the targeting call. It was reviewed, and it was confirmed by our replay official, Rusty Acree. So this is a tough break for Virginia.
Yeah, and watch right here. There's an indicator. You're launching with forcible contact with the crown of your helmet. It doesn't matter really where that contact is made. If you're lowering your head and launching with the crown of your helmet into a defenseless player, that is going to be called targeting. It looks like it was also to the head area, hit that bottom of that face mask. Now, we were questioning earlier whether Jordan Mack had a previous targeting call, but now this one being in the second half is not only going to affect him the rest of this game, but the following game as well. It's going to be a big one versus UNC. Then he's their leader on the defense as well.
Yeah, he'll have to sit out the first half of that game in Chapel Hill next weekend. And Now Virginia, this defense is going to have to go the rest of the way today with Nick Jackson, a true freshman out of Atlanta, playing in that linebacker spot.
Yeah, they've been impressed with him, but as you said, true freshman, wide receiver in high school. This is the first real time he's had at linebacker.
Hawkins on the stretch. Picks up 10, 12 tough yards.
And they ran it right at Nick Johnson. You see number 55, Caleb Chandler. Watch this play. Here he is, right on the right side of your screen. 55, Caleb Chandler just gets up there and locks him up. That has to be the linebacker's play. You got to lower your shoulder and get through that block. They're no fools. They're going right at the new guy. Right at him again.
Hawkins, near side. This time Jackson stands him up.
Well, maybe he got some jitters out and he puts Tyler Haycraft on his back and makes a good play in the backfield. It's just being thrown into the fire right now for Nick Jackson. He's 1-1 so far.
Trips to the top of your screen for Cunningham. Good look to the end zone. Trying to get it to Tutu. Down to the 1 yard line.
Oh my goodness, that is such a good throw by Mikael Cunningham. I cannot even explain. Takes a huge hit, gets the ball to Tutu Atwell all the way across the field on the sideline. And fantastic job standing in there. And watch him take this hit. Noah Taylor's coming in, bangs him, but look how he leads his receiver away from the defensive back. All the way down, right 3 yard line.
Hawkins, he'll score.
Great job by Louisville, running up to the line of scrimmage after that big play and handing it to your playmaking running back. But watch the shift of this offense. They move everybody over. This is a way you can create an unbalanced set to this side of the screen, and you gain an extra gap. You force the defense to play an extended front. Really good job. Great call by Dwayne Ledford, the offensive coordinator. Great execution by the offensive line of Louisville.
Creaky ties this game up. Hawkins finishes an 89-yard drive for the Cardinals. We're all leaving in Louisville. On to this question. Does Blandon Creaky kick the ball anywhere near Joe Reed?
Absolutely not. Although it didn't matter on that first kickoff because he kicked it away from him and the ball was just handed right back to Joe Reed. So you saw the little scrum kick. Let's see what they do here.
Got a hole here. He just pops it up away over Reed. And it's caught by Kelly, but he goes out of bounds at the 14. That's a mistake.
Yeah, it is a mistake.
He could have let that one go out of bounds and they would have gotten much better field position.
So we would follow him a little bit.
Could have been that guy right there. Could have Mark Jackson, who was here in attendance today. It wasn't. I think he had 900-something yards rushing his freshman year. He's a quarterback that likes to run the football a bit. Bryce Perkins, give him 5 on first down. For those of you who weren't with us in the first half, Perkins hurt his knee. We were worried that it might be something serious. He walked off under his own power. There was a series where Brennan Armstrong was a quarterback for Virginia. Then Perkins came back in the next series, but you don't think he's 100%.
This doesn't seem like it. You know, he has a style about him that's very smooth, and you know, he's able to move very fluidly, but I just don't see that same burst out of him when he does get in the open field or being able to run away and avoid tackling.
Second down and 5. Reed brought down immediately, but that'll be enough for a first down.
Good blitz pickup there, and Bryce Perkins just replaced that blitz with the football and get it to Joe Reed for the first down.
Got a final minute here in this third quarter in Louisville. Don't forget Boston College and Clemson following us. Perkins again to Reed. He puts the ball on the carpet. And this is going to be a fumble and a Louisville recovery. C.J. Avery fell on it as Reed was trying to stretch for another yard or two, and he fumbled the football.
He sits right in that zone again, but look from the outside. Boozy Whitlow just tackles him. Looks like the ball
rolling on
comes
the
out
field
right
with
here.
A completed pass and a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Louisville.
Fans here brave just rotten weather. Tropical storm Olga let out a big cheer from that one. And you see the turnover margin. This has been a story for them. Red zone offense, turnover margin. Last week, they really sort of turned things around against Duke, forcing 5, doubling their season total. But today, that stat hasn't gone in their way.
Yeah, and going into that Duke game, they were really poor in that turnover margin. And then, that 5 turnovers obviously helps. But today, 2 turnovers given away is not good. Great cut by Mikael Cunningham. He just made Joey Blunt fall over.
Picks up about 4 on first down.
Well, watch this guy. You see Joey Blunt, number 29 right here. Like, oh, he's not even within 5 yards. And just really good running ability by Cunningham.
That's going to wrap things up for the third quarter. 14 apiece as we head to the fourth here in Louisville. Nobody cares about Tropical Storm Olga. Both Virginia and Louisville sidelines are lit. We're tied at 14 heading into the fourth quarter.
Dorian Ethery in the middle of that dance circle. I was very adamant at my wedding about no dance circles. I broke those up, but that one looked like it would have been fun.
I broke those up. Can you imagine Herzlich physically breaking up dance circles at his wedding? Second down here for the Cardinals. That's the redshirt freshman Hawkins. Gets about 5 before Devontae Cross brings him down. It'll bring up a third and short.
Some of those weddings, you get those dance circles going and you just can't get them out. Well, I had me and Anthony Costanzo, the biggest person at the wedding.
I can imagine, yeah.
Left tackle for the Colts, go in there and just break it up.
Cunningham keeps it. 20, 10, into the end zone.
Getting that vein ready for a direct injection of Mikael Cunningham. This is just an absolutely different looking Cardinal team with him at the helm. So good. And even when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, they have to respect his ability to run the ball with it.
Creaky extends Louisville's first lead of the game to 7 points here early in the fourth quarter. As you see Coach Satterfield, the old adage, you've heard it, we've all heard it. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks, and Coach Satterfield has been adamant that that's not the case with his Louisville Cardinals, but that is the case the way it's played out in this game.
Yeah, to me, one of the biggest things that I'm looking at from this game, as we walk away, was the fact that they pretty much wasted the second quarter offensively. And Evan Conley is a decent quarterback in his own right. He just is not at the same level right now that Mikael Cunningham is. And when they put him in, the offense completely stalled. Now, Cunningham is back, and they are their usual explosive self.
Kelly from the 19. Tries to spin away from tacklers and cannot.
And they refuse to kick it to number 2, Joe Reed. I don't blame him for that. But even though they're kicking it short, their coverage team's doing a great job. Right now, you're seeing the momentum of this game go in the Cardinals' favor offensively with that long run with Cunningham at quarterback, defensively with the interception, and now special teams doing their part covering that kick.
Clock running inside of 7 minutes now. told you the score of that North Carolina game going on right now, and Virginia fans hoping to get a win here to set up maybe a huge matchup next week in Chapel Hill against North Carolina as far as the Coastal is concerned, but they got to escape here. They're down 7 points with that clock winding down, and they're still here in Louisville territory.
Yeah, you do. And maybe I got a sense of urgency up here in the booth, but you look at that man's face, and that's just calmness, and that's poise. And you do want that from the quarterback. They have enough time here. They just haven't had a lot of momentum coming into this series offensively.
Perkins will look to run. There's a good move. That'll pick him up about 4. Devon was there to bring him down, but that got him free.
Yep, that was a good cut. He's coming up a little gingerly now as he walks back to the huddle. Needed to have that run, but right now, I mean, he's hobbled back there. This is the first time we've seen that limp. This pace is coming.
3rd and 1. Perkins back to pass. Can't connect with Janet. And Perkins is slow to get up.
Looks like they're bringing the punt team on the field, but look at him get hit at the end of this play. It's on the ground, and I don't think he stays down because he's hurt. He's just trying to look and see. But he's been beat up this game.
Now Nash Griffin into punt for the Wahoos. He's gonna die. Wind just kills this one. Takes a slight Virginia bounce. Touch at about 36.
Tried to get away with one there.
Take over. Just over 5 minutes to go here. Louisville up 7. On the ACC Network and on the ESPN app, Louisville defeated Virginia last night in volleyball, 3-0. So that was a big evening for the Cardinals. They're hoping to make the 2 in a row tonight. This would be a huge win for them and Scott Satterfield as they try to play their way into bowl eligibility. This would be win number 5 on the year, but they got to hang on. We still have 5:05 remaining. Cunningham looking to pass. Going to try to get it to Fitzpatrick. Battling with Devontae Cross, and flags come.
Des Fitzpatrick.
Pass interference, defense, number 15. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And Des Fitzpatrick just gets behind the defense, and that's a very scary position to be in as Devontae Cross, because you really can't do much.
He really didn't do much.
He really didn't do much, but the fact that Fitzpatrick just tried to even come back to the ball, and no head turn happened. There is no face guarding in college football, but still, I guess the call was he restricted him from making the catch.
Here off the Hawkins. He just burst through that hole. 37. Closing in on 100 yards now for Hawkins.
It was interesting, though, that pass, that long pass to Des Fitzpatrick that resulted in that penalty, that was one of the first times we've seen that all game. We thought there were going to be a lot more of those deep shots. You saw the big crossing route to Tutu Atwell, but that's the matchup that we had anticipated with Bryce Hall, the all-everything corner hurt through the year for Virginia. Might go back to that at some point.
Hawkins again. Bangs off the first tackler, still on his feet. This kid is tough. They have him listed at 5'9", 182 pounds, but that's his 26th carry of the night, and that moves him to 100 yards.
Yeah, it does, and at the end of the play, you see big number 60, Taylor Haycraft, just like push his guy a little bit farther, and you get to run behind some offensive tackles in Mekhi Becton and Taylor Haycraft. And when we talked to the offensive coaches for Louisville, they said that those two guys are what they want this program to be. They were raving about Haycraft and his ability of just getting to the ball. He's always the first one to help the quarterback up. Anywhere on the field the ball goes, he will be there next. because of his effort and relentless pursuit of the ball.
Hawkins bounces it outside, and just one man to beat. Joey Blunt brings him down, or he would have scored.
And if you're not running the Haycraft side, that means you're running behind Becton, your gigantic left tackle. And Snowden just gets a little bit too nosy, and that monstrous speed by Javion Hawkins to get outside.
Got to give credit where credit's due there, too. Marshawn Ford, the H-back with a nice block to spring him on the outside. Clock winding down, under 3 minutes. Louisville in no hurry to snap this ball. Hawkins again. Dancing his way into the second level. Inside the 5, he'll score!
Great run by Hawkins. They come back to the exact same play that they ran earlier in the drive that got them 10 yards. And look at the big man jump. That's 270 pounds airborne. Let's run the football.
100 pounds off of that. That's 370 pounds airborne.
Dude, I was talking about the coach. The 370, that was the player. And watch this block right here. They're able to cut block that backside 3 technique. And this play will start and the ball will just go right up there through the middle. But that cut block frees open that backside running lane. Absolutely stupendous block by Marshawn Ford. You just gave him credit where credit was due. Well, he gets credit again and leads Javion Hawkins into the end zone. But great job by that offensive line, cutting the defense to create those vertical seams on that stretch play.
And if you talk about signature wins, Satterfield, maybe it was the basketball score win that they had over Wake Forest. Well, this one might even be sweeter here because it gets into 5 wins, and with 3 of their last 4 games on the road, this is huge for them to get a W here in terms of positioning themselves for a bowl run, which would be remarkable in Satterfield's first year here in Louisville.
Yeah, the expectations for what Satterfield could bring to this team, they were not that high, to be frank. He wanted to win a couple games his first year. He's done much more than that. If they can get this win, that would be huge for this program.
Reed takes it out to the 31-yard line.
Great catch by Assis Dubois right there over the middle. They got to get those turnovers out of their game when they're looking forward to who they might play coming up in the playoffs or in a huge bowl game, depending upon what the rankings are.
See if they can stop that 2-headed rushing attack by Boston College. They had over 400 yards rushing last weekend. Assis Dubois with another catch. That's a first down.
Virginia's not out of this game yet. You know, there's still 2-13. We've seen crazier things happen in ACC football, and especially when you got a guy back there like Bryce Perkins. He can be electric, get the ball going.
Slinging it out to Dubois right now. Those two just are taking what the defense is giving them.
Timeout, Virginia. Their first timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Pressure coming. Perkins is going to step up. Will he be able to run? He's going to be tracked down from behind. Monty Montgomery tracks him down, uses that speed.
Monty Montgomery got his first start of the season last week with Dorian Etheridge out for a targeting call. But they saw something in him. He had 10 tackles last week coming off that edge. He can do pass rush as well as any of them on their team.
Third sack of the game for the Cardinals. And a Virginia offense that has had a hard time putting the ball in the end zone. Really, year 2 over the last 3 weeks. Perkins. Surveying the field. Now the pressure comes. Gets it to Jana, but it's knocked away. Chandler Jones is making all kinds of plays, as is C.J. Avery tonight. 4th down and 7 as the rain now.
Virginia's
comes down
hurrying
even
up
harder.
the line of scrimmage. Here could be the play of the night for this Louisville defense.
Perkins has time, gets it complete. That's Jana again. It'll be a 1st down.
Man, I mean, you talk about ice running through your veins. Bryce Perkins back there, just absolutely no emotion on his face, throws an absolute strike to Jana, who had dropped the previous one. Confidence in him to come down with that one. He did.
Perkins going to the end zone for Brissett. Just couldn't quite make the turn to get there.
This drive right here has been the best drive that UVA's had in recent memory. And when we look at it, they're running a lot of this max protection because Louisville's been so good at getting pressure on the quarterback.
Perkins flushed out. Almost a great catch. That was Brissett again.
Marlin character on the coverage there. And this is his first start. I mean, you look at the pressure that he has coming into this game, performing, and he has done nothing but exceed expectations. Another great play by him tonight.
3rd down and 10 for Virginia. Down 2 scores, 1:25 to go.
Trying to get half the yardage, 5 yards here, but they send everybody deep.
Trying to get to Dubois and just oversails it. He went down again. Just been getting beat up all evening. 4th and 10. They've converted one on this drive. They're going to have to convert another if they want to keep their hope alive. Waning hope at 1:19 left in this game. Can't reiterate enough, it's a Louisville team that won 2 games last year. Scott Satterfield came in, as always, with a first-year coach late in the going. Small recruiting class. Changing the culture. This will be win number 5 on the year. This Cardinals can hang on. Perkins steps up. Jana, what a catch.
Wow. Shot an absolute dart out to Jana. Looks like he got that left toe barely on the ground. Oh my goodness.
One timeout on the board for Bronco Mendenhall. You see the rain coming down hard.
That's Jana right there. That's been the guy on this drive. You have to go back to him. Rain is just
not the best time for this Virginia offense to have rain start coming down in sheets. Perkins has all day to throw. Jana again short, about 7 yards on the catch. Character is there to bring him down, and that's what Character wants to do because that keeps the clock running.
But look at that rain. I mean,
final timeout by Bronco Mendenhall.
Timeout, Virginia. Their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
Louisville defensive coordinator Brian Brown said when we spoke to him earlier this week, he thinks that this defense might have been the worst in the history of college football. He was
last year.
Yeah, last year they were so bad, and yet at times this year they've had some issues as well, but they look pretty darn good today.
Yeah, and when I talked to him, I said, you know, what is it about your defense? It seems like they play well for a little bit of the game and then all of a sudden give up 30 straight points. And he said, oh, you noticed that too? He was not too happy about it. But he reiterated to us, that these are all the same guys. These are the same guys from that defense that just looked absolutely terrible last year. But they have bought into this new culture, and you're looking at a guy, Connie Pass and Russ Yeast, 2 of these leaders of this secondary and leaders of this entire defense.
Virginia now out of timeouts from the 20. Perkins will be sacked. That's Monty Montgomery again.
Monty Montgomery, look at this rain pouring down. becomes tough to hold the ball, tough to block. Setting everybody back now in coverage. Drop 8.
Trying to get it to Jana, and does. Jana with the adjustment. Ball in the air, worked toward the sideline, and he makes the catch. That's 24 yards in this monsoon.
That's unbelievable. It's hard to think that Perkins could even see him out there, and we saw Jana remove his gloves before the last timeout was called.
Substitutions coming in with the clock ticking down.
UVA substitutes, that allowed time for Louisville substitute. You can't substitute in 2 minutes
I
left.
thought he was out of bounds.
Chris, that's a very good
Perkins is
point.
just going to throw that out. I understand that when you get the first down, the clock stops temporarily, but I thought that Jana went out of bounds to stop the clock.
I mean, that's a very good point.
Here's the look at it again. I guess the knee was down before he went out of bounds is what they were saying, right there.
Yeah.
Wow, those inches just cost him a lot of time.
And you see Bronco Mendenhall right now talking to the official because he was under the impression that he went out of bounds too. That's why he substituted. And then extra seconds came off the clock, and now you have 13 seconds left and you need 14 points.
29 seconds. Down 2 scores. Virginia needs one quickly here. Perkins. Is he going to run it in himself? Flips it in the end zone, and a great catch. Tavares Kelly Jr. had to come back for it and use all of his 5'8" frame to make the grab, so Virginia isn't done yet.
21 seconds left. Bryce Perkins, everything's initially taken away. He's able to use his legs, and right there, he's had trouble all year running with the ball in a throwing position. A lot of times he pulls it into his chest to run. Right there, he does a good job of keeping it in that throwing hand, finding his receiver in the end zone.
Delaney will kick the PAT. What's more important is his onside kick that will come up in just a few moments.
So too many times you see the front line players get nosy and try to jump for the ball or try to recover it themselves. Unless it's kicked directly to you, let it go to that second line.
Virginia has recovered an onside kick this year against Notre Dame. Comes to the far side. Ball still live. And the Cavaliers look like they have it. They do. As Assis Dubois falls on the football, they'll have one final shot. They got 19 seconds. You can get 3 plays in 19 seconds.
Look at Bronco Mendenhall. Oh my goodness, he goes, woo! Let's see here. There was only 3 guys back there, and Assis Dubois, did you see him tightrope along the sideline? He cannot go out of bounds and then come back in and recover this football. He tightropes that sideline and does an excellent job. Where's number 13, Terrell Jana? He's their go-to guy.
He's split wide down at the bottom of your screen.
Here he is down here.
Dubois at the top.
It's not his usual spot. He's usually in the slot. Let's see if they go to him.
Louisville rushes forward. Perkins all kinds of time. Incomplete. Nice close on the play by Chandler Jones.
So it seems like they sent a lot of guys deep on that play. I want to get about 10 or 15 yards on this pass, but it needs to get out of bounds, or at least a first down so you can run to the ball quickly and get one last shot to the end zone.
Perkins steps up short.
Ooh, you better get a first down here.
He's trying to get out of bounds, and he does. They'll rule him out of bounds. Whew. At the 40-yard line, just 2 seconds left to play.
Man,
So this will be the final play of the game.
Lamont Atkins, that is a heads-up play by him. He's not usually a receiver for them. He gets all the way out of bounds, sets up one final play. Everybody is deep. So there's only 3 Cardinals along the goal line. Everybody else is up close. See all the receivers go over to that left side of the field and just throw it up.
To the end zone. Perkins had one man down there. It's batted down. That's going to do it.
And who batted that ball down? Number 5, Seth Dawkins. They put their big 6'3" wide receiver in on that last victory play. Said, I want my best jump man to go up and jump and knock that one down, and he does. Absolutely massive win for these Louisville Cardinals, led by their defense.
Kelsey Riggs is downstairs with the winning coach.
Well, Coach, a little stressful for you there at the end, I'm sure, but probably the biggest win that you've gotten here at Louisville. You look around, the fans that stuck it out, and you see these guys celebrating. What does this one mean to you?
Oh, it's awesome. You know, hey, it's hard to win football games, and particularly in the ACC. I mean, it seems like every game comes down to the wire, and our guys have won a lot of close games, but that's the sign of champions, you know, and I'm so proud of our guys, the way they keep competing and fighting, and you know, good things happen to guys that work hard and do things right.
Mikhail Cunningham and Javion Hawkins were impressive, but I want to talk about your defense because they were really good, made a play there at the end. How proud are you of what they accomplished?
They played outstanding. You know, they've given up some plays this year, but tonight they came out and played a great game, got some turnovers, contained that quarterback. Bryce Perkins is a great player, and you know, it was just fun watching them play. You know, we had a lot of faith in our defense today, and then the offense had a great drive to grind it out to get 2 scores up. You know, ended up winning the game.
Coach, thanks so much. Congrats. This is the big one.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach Kels. Appreciate it. Louisville, they improved to 5-3 overall, 3-2 in the ACC. Virginia, meanwhile, the ACC Coastal, the chaos continues.
Just when we thought we had it figured out, this happened.
The guys in studio will chat all about it coming up. Don't forget, we got Boston College and Clemson coming up as well. Louisville, 28, Virginia, 21. Back to the guys in the studio.